What up?
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the fifth issue. Wow, I just
Issue.
said issue.
You're having an issue with
I'm
issue.
having a fucking issue. Of Why Am I Nerd presents Yo, What Up Comics, where each and every week we get together to talk all things comics. From old to new, fan theories to what ifs, we got you covered. I'm Cameron James, and with me, as always, the golden voice of podcast, Mr. Matt Ferreira.
Thank you.
What's up?
Not too much, man. How you been?
After last night's fiasco with the Toxic Avenger, I couldn't sleep.
That was interesting. But we did get some good news yesterday too. I think it's safe to say it's official at this point. If you didn't see Michael Keaton doing that college address, I think he's back as Batman now.
That's actually a topic today in multiple sources, two different. So we don't want to spoil too much of it, but apparently he is, and that is going to be very interesting to see because I don't know. I'm excited about it.
Who'd win in a fight? Batman with no prep time, or the Toxic Avenger with 18 mops?
Dude, for the record, if you haven't seen that video, definitely go check it out on our YouTube page. Go to, what do we name it? Hero Cinema. It's in there. I forgot it for a brief second. You have our 4-minute reaction to that video.
Which is something else. If you have or haven't seen this movie, I think our reaction is either going to sell you or you're going to know exactly where we're coming from because some bizarre shit happens in that. There's no other way to describe it. It's just bizarre shit.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch it again just to see, like, did that really happen? But there's 3 other versions of it we still have to watch, and a musical.
And it's surprisingly short. It was like an hour and 20 minutes. Like, it pretty much gets up to speed pretty quickly. But there's a few things that are just like, you know what it is? That's a great smoking or drinking movie for. Like, that's one of those movies where you're going to get really high or really drunk and be like, this is absurd. And then you got to take another shot every time someone gets a mop in their mouth.
Yeah. And then the thing too about that movie is, man, like the first half of it, and we even say it's like goes from like one extreme of violence to like you said, they ran out of money. So
like just the murders were just implied as opposed to like being insanely graphic.
Yeah, it was definitely, like I said, if you, like Matt said, if you want to go get high, get drunk and watch it, then okay, we support your decision. But once again, this is Why Am I Nerd presents Yo, What Up Comics, where you can follow us on Instagram at Why Am I Nerd Official, Facebook.com/Why Am I Nerd, and listen to new issues every Tuesday on your favorite podcast service. We actually just officially finally got on iHeartRadio as well, so you can check that out. And you can also check out new issues on YouTube every Sunday night at 6 p.m. at youtube.com. Such a bunch of weird letters because we're still not verified yet.
So please subscribe, comment, everything on YouTube so we can get to that point so we can just give you this content even easier.
Yes, it would be very, very much appreciated.
But before we get into the topics of the day, we do want to bring to you what's coming new to the shelves this week, starting June 29th at your local comic book shops from the big 6 publishers. So this week from Image, we've got Reaver #9, The Marked #6, Nailbiter Returns 2, Protector 4, Pretty Violent 7, Olympia 5, The Goddamned, The Virgin Brides #1, Negan Lives #1, On the Stump #3, All American Comics #1. From Dynamite, we have The Boys, Dear Becky #2. We have Red Sonja and Vampirella meet Betty and Veronica, which is a wild team up. That's issue 11 though. We have to catch up on that in a future one.
Okay.
We have Vengeance of Vampirella #8. Killing Red Sonja #2. So Red Sonja and Vampirella are really making the rounds at Dynamite. We also have Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, Death of Nancy Drew #2. And we have the Sacred Six #1. Then from IDW, we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Urban Legends #24. Star Trek Year 5 #12. That's an awkward title. Ghostbusters Year 1 #4. Usagi Yojimbo, who's a frequent collaborator with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's that samurai bunny.
Really?
He's kind of cool, yeah.
How did you know that?
Dude, what do you mean? You don't remember that from the cartoon?
Dude, I did not.
We got Usagi Yojimbo, Color Classics #4 coming out. I Can Sell You a Body #4. Marvel Action Classics Avengers, starring Iron Man #1, which is weird because there's nothing for Marvel this week. For DC, we have Supergirl number 42, and for Dark Horse, there is nothing happening this week. They're staying dark.
Yeah, nice pun there, bro. Have you read any of this stuff? Like any of the old stuff? Because Nailbiter Returns, the original Nailbiter comic series is actually really good.
Really? No, I've never. I'm not even familiar with that one.
It's really good. Everybody should go. You probably have to read the first one before you read the second one. Obviously, I haven't read the second one yet. But
am I going to be on the edge of my seat for most of it? Is it a real?
You'll be on the edge of your. You went there. You went there.
I had to.
I was like, "Where are you going here?" I completely missed that one. But okay. I mean, the goddamn Virgin Bride seems pretty interesting too. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, you know what I do kind of want to check out in the future because I keep seeing it, but I haven't read any of it. Apparently, the Ninja Turtles are teaming up with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers right now, and I think at one point they also team up with Batman, and Batman also fights the Power Rangers. I don't know if all those comics are the same thing, but I know they're doing a lot with it, and it's something we should explore in a future episode.
I'm totally down to check that out.
Like, I love Power Rangers. Like we gotta check.
I mean, their last movie didn't do.
Their last movie was absolute trash. Is that coming? We have that in the lineup.
It's on the list.
That movie is awful, and I can't wait to tear it apart.
It's definitely on the list. But our one-shot news article of the day comes from Cosmic Book News, talking about Free Comic Book Day of 2020, taking place July through September.
It's basically going to be more Free Comic Book Summer from what I'm seeing, which I'm all about. I think this is a great idea. Just because people haven't been able to go into comic book shops forever, this hopefully will revitalize a few of the shops as people start going back out after this pandemic. You know, people can go into stores, they've got a reason. Like, okay, I'll bring my kid to this store. We'll walk out with a free comic, maybe a Funko Pop collectible, maybe a couple other things. I think it's a great idea overall for the industry and for the individual shops who have no doubt been hit by this whole thing.
100%. I believe they do this every year. I believe
normally Free Comic Book Day is normally one day in May. But they're extending it through the entire summer. And some of the titles actually look pretty decent. Yeah. Like we've got a Spider-Man Venom team up with Black Cat, and she's less scantily clad than normal, which isn't saying too much. We've got Power Rangers Ranger Slayer. We've got your personal favorite, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. So like, there's a few things in here.
So Matt, why don't you read off this article for us and let us know what the hell is going on besides talking about My Little Pony?
Well, sorry, Your Little Pony, yeah. Aside from Cameron's Little Pony. So every year, Free Comic Book Day is our big event to thank current comic book fans, welcome back former fans, and invite those new to comics to join the fun, said Joe Field, organizer of Free Comic Book Day and owner of Flying Colors Comics in Concord, California. That is a tongue twister if ever I've heard it. So basically what this day is every once a year usually, it's just there's a day where there's a bunch of free comic books that come out from different publishers. It doesn't necessarily mean you can go in and take any book and that book's free, which is the first time I heard it when I was younger. That's what I thought it was going to be. But there's a number of books that are published that are given out for free at comic book stores across the country. Sometimes they become collector's items. Sometimes they're just good to really get into a certain line or a book. But it's awesome. But they're carrying this from July 15th to September 9th this year. And like I said, there's a lot of really cool titles. So no matter what end of the spectrum you're on, whether you're deep into comics, whether you're just getting back in, or whether you're new to it entirely, or whether you kind of have an established, fandom for something, there's probably going to be something for you in this. So it's worth going to your comic book stores every week this summer once everything's open again and really checking out what they have to offer.
Yeah, as well. And we'll also have the complete list and the lineup of each day and week that you can check out on our Instagram. That's again at Why Am I a Nerd? Again, we'll be putting that up briefly. So if you're listening to this, it's definitely up already. So definitely go ahead and check that out. And again, when you go to the stores, they're actually it's kind of cool. They're giving them their own leeway on how they want to do it. So they might say, they're going to give them the stuff for whatever the first date is, July 15th. July 15th. Yeah. So on July 15th, they're going to get all 6 issues, I believe.
They should get all 6 issues.
Yeah, and then they
just closed the article.
No, so did I. And then they can choose whether or not they're going to go ahead and release all of them at once, or they can release one a day. So our next news segment that we kind of added to this list, it's pretty much called Who the Fuck Asked for This?
But at the same time, if this is true, it's kind of amazing. Just because I feel like it's going to have implications for a totally different superhero. But I'll let you take this one.
We're going to see. This one, again, comes from cosmicbooknews.com. News, cosmicbook.news. So Ryan Reynolds is said to be confirmed to come back as the Green Lantern for Snyder Cut of the Justice League movie coming to HBO Max. I actually just went over this a few weeks ago, and now YouTuber Grace Randolph says she has heard from 2 sources that this is indeed the case. End quote. Now that I have heard it from a second source, it seems word is indeed getting out, and so I can confirm the Snyder Cut cameo I've been teasing is indeed Ryan Reynolds for the Green Lantern. I'm hearing WB is working on putting a deal together now to make it official, tweeted Randolph on Tuesday. What do you think?
Can we talk about what they had to offer Ryan Reynolds to go back to this? Because he's had a very noted miserable experience on that movie. And a fun fact, his roommate in the movie is the director of Thor Ragnarok and the upcoming Thor Love and Thunder, Taika Waititi, which I didn't realize until relatively recently.
His roommate in the movie?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I mean, dude, that movie's so bad. I forget everything about it.
I'm not excited for that one to come up on Hero Cinema.
Well, we also talked about it yesterday, too, that you said, and I don't know where, and maybe you can find this article somewhere, that all the original cast from the Justice League movie are coming back to reshoot.
Yeah, they're filming additional scenes and stuff like that, stuff because Snyder, if nobody's familiar, I'm sure you are at this point, but Zack Snyder, the director of Superman, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and half of Justice League, he had to fall off the project due to the unfortunate passing of his daughter. So he stepped away from the project, and Joss Whedon came in and kind of filled in the holes. So fans have been clamoring since then for what they dubbed the Snyder Cut. And HBO Max and Warner Brothers kind of said, you know what, screw it. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's go all in. And I think they dedicated a few $100 million, if I'm not mistaken, to completing Zack Snyder's movie in his original image. So they're filming that now, and it's going to come back in, I think you said, a 6-part?
So there's rumors it's probably going to be a 6-part HBO Max miniseries. Snyder said the other day, mid-2021.
Wow.
So, I mean, like you said, how they're going to fit the Green Lantern into this, to me, means that they're either rewriting the script, adding stuff into it. I mean, well, I don't know how you really read into this. It's kind of interesting because, again, Ryan Reynolds has made fun of himself playing this movie multiple times.
Which I was saying in the beginning, I feel like it's going to have an impact on Deadpool, which I can't wait to see what he does with that in Deadpool 3, when and if it happens.
I don't think he's going to be able to.
He's got to find a way to make fun of it. There's going to be something they do. Like, it's Ryan Reynolds. He's done it with everything.
I bet you in that clause, DC puts something. Look, if you come back for this, we'll give you XYZ amount of dollars, which is probably something that's like...
But you can't make fun of Green Lantern.
But you can't mention it in any sort of... Going forward.
I mean, you got to think though that's also free publicity for them in another major motion picture. So I don't know. I'm interested in seeing how that goes forward. But if he does make fun of it in Deadpool, I can't wait for it. It's going to be amazing.
But what's the joke? He re-signed on for it.
Yeah,
he re-signed to play.
But he could be like, he could be like, I'll do anything for money. Just look at me in Justice League. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
there's got to be a way he can do it. I've got to think with some of the jokes they've made in the past, they've got to be able to do something with this.
I mean, why not just recast the character? If they're gonna make a Green Lantern,
because we're talking about it now. If they just got some random person, it wouldn't have who was the Green Lantern in the beginning of Justice League? Like, no one gives a shit about that guy. It was just cool to see him in the beginning. With Ryan Reynolds in there, people are like, oh shit, they got Ryan Reynolds back. These guys are serious. It's got us talking about it, it's generating more buzz for the movie. It makes sense from a more financial and marketing standpoint.
So you think it's a publicity reason?
Oh, it's definitely more publicity than anything, which is why I think they won't be that mad depending on the shots he takes with Deadpool.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I think it's going to be really interesting to see because, again, they're putting all this money into it. Hopefully, they just come out and do the 6-part thing that they want to do. I don't want them to put together a 4-hour-long movie.
Yeah, nobody wants to sit there for 4 hours. Yeah.
And, it'll be interesting to see. But, again, when I saw that, I think that article came out today, maybe. I have to double check.
That's
I think I literally just added that to the breakdown of who the fuck's asking for this right now. But, again, make me bite my words.
Yeah. Well, one other thing that we don't have on here, I'm going to go a little off topic here. Did you see, and this might be more of a topic for Alpha Beta Gold, the Avengers footage for the game that came out recently?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah, looks awesome. I'm sold.
I wasn't.
No?
Mm-mm.
I just want to play a story and just zap everything.
I genuinely don't know how I feel about that game. Again, I thought it. I don't know. It looked just weird. Like I didn't really get it.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like
mean, I think the story is going to be there, which is a big thing for me when it comes to gaming. Like if I'm invested in it, then I'll play through damn near anything. Which is how I got through Arkham Knight. Even though I love playing the Arkham series of games, Arkham Knight pissed me off because you were forced to Batmobile through so much of it. Mm-hmm. So but I was able to suffer through it because I'm like, this story is so good for this game. It was so cool, everything tied in. So they've already got my pre-order. I'm ready
really?
for it. Yeah, I pre-ordered it
See, the thing that they kind of took a page out of Destiny's book. It seems like with the world map, and you have the war zones, the war.
Oh, see that I didn't see. I just saw the actual trailer of like Thor's gameplay and part of the Kamala Khan story.
So pretty much what it seems like they're doing is that they have hero missions, which you have to play as a designated hero on that level. So if you complete everything, I'm assuming this could be completely wrong. This is just me, speculating. I'm assuming if you play all of Hulk's missions, if you play all of Thor's missions, all of Iron Man's missions, and let's say Black Widow sucks to play as, now you're stuck playing as her for God knows how long.
Which would kind of suck. That would be.
I don't know, because then they have the co-op stuff, which I get. It's like a 4-player co-op. Everyone has to play a specific character.
Yeah,
you can't have duplicate.
That's just got me sold. Like,
and then the other one, I think they call it Warzone?
Something like that.
It's War something. I don't have my notes on this. It's for the other show, Alphabetic Gold, which you are going to do.
Yeah, definitely check out Alphabetic Gold, guys.
But it looked more like a raid mode.
Interesting. Okay.
Which, you have to fight like a really extreme boss, like really difficult boss, and kind of move through a level that way.
I mean, if it's bringing in a boss from like a major Marvel boss, like if you're fighting, I don't know why, but Fing Fang Fooms comes to mind, as ridiculous as he is. I could be in for that. Could be 100% in for that. So,
I mean, you can get it first. Let me know how to.
Yeah,
I'll probably end up having to play it anyway, regardless.
On that ABG episode.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. But anyway, moving on, we have 4 topics of the day. We have Michael Keaton in talks to play Batman in Ezra Miller's Flashpoint movie, as well as Batman Beyond for HBO Max on the way. DC and Spotify cut a deal for a scripted digital podcast series. DC pulls the plug on Warren Ellis' death metal story. I lied. We only had 3 topics of the day because I moved one. So my apologies. But let's dive right ahead into the first article I kind of want to talk about is this whole DC and Spotify deal. And this article comes from Forbes, which I think is really, really strange. DC Comics has found another platform for its pantheon of superheroes, announcing a new multi-year deal between parent company Warner Media, a division of AT&T, and leading audio streamer Spotify to extensively distribute an original slate of all new podcasts. According to the announcements, DC will provide Spotify with a first look for scripted narrative shows featuring the entire universe of DC heroes and villains, including Batman, Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, Superman, and others from the publisher's deep bench of costumed characters. The storylines featured in the Spotify content reportedly won't tie in to existing continuity from the comics, television shows, or movies, although they will feature the distinctive characters, locales, and and concepts familiar to fans. What do you make of this?
I think that's awesome. And if you're in need of a voice actor, you know where to go. But no,
you come right here and listen to your Talk for Gold podcast. Fuck.
I think that's a great idea. Like, imagine if, after you're done listening to 2 guys talking awesome about comic books and then about sports and video games, you're like, damn, I needed a podcast for my way home from work. Boom. Now you can listen to a Batman story or a Superman story. So I think obviously subscribe to us on Spotify, and then if you're on Spotify, listen to this after us. We might even cover some of this content coming up. I think this is really, though, just overall, without plugging ourselves here, just an awesome idea. I think it's covering a new medium. There's not really anything like this that exists right now. And it's obviously easier to download something like that than it is like an episode of your favorite show. You know what I mean? To watch on the way in. Like, I personally have a long commute to work. And it's, I'm on the train for like an hour and a half. So this would be a great thing to have to kind of listen to and enjoy on the way in. And, you kind of still use your imagination. You're picturing the characters the way you want to. I think it's a great idea.
But I guess it's kind of like what War of the Worlds did back whenever.
Yeah, but without terrifying people into thinking it's real.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I personally, I think it can go either way. I think it's a very fine line between if they mess it up, it's messed up.
Well, if they mess it up, is it really a harm to anything? It's not the same as if they mess up a movie, and they've done that plenty of times.
You'll know that. Who's to say that they're not going to pre-record all 12 issues of this right away? And let's say they record all of it, and then all of a sudden, 3 issues in, people are like, "What is this? This is not good." You spent all that money.
I mean, they do that with cartoons all the time. Like they're already, like cartoons are done. They don't like, put out 1 or 2 episodes of like Harley Quinn. I think is the most recent one I can think of. They're not going to like create 2 episodes of Harley Quinn, see if people like it, then do the rest. Like you kind of got to make that commitment. I think it's honestly even on top of that a low risk move. Like you're hiring a scriptwriter, you're hiring voice actors, and then someone to edit some additional sounds in. Like it's not a crazy big investment for them. From an overhead and production standpoint, that if it does fall flat on its face, and it's like, all right, well, at least we tried. They gave it something new. And then Marvel will probably come back and do it better somehow. But
I was going to say, then Marvel's going to come in and do something. I think what's interesting, too, is because we've talked about this off of the show a couple of times, is if, with comic book series, they go so long. Issue 1 comes out 6 years prior, and then the final issue comes out maybe, like I said, like 6-7 years later.
There, yeah.
So, if the comic, arc, I guess you want to say, is not arc. I guess it's the wrong word that I'm trying to say. Like the whole series, let's say, like the Rebirth series of Batman. You start that, and then let's say, issues 1 are good, issues 2 are good, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then all of a sudden it starts to fade. They can always readjust that because I think they finished the comic book about a month to 2 months prior. So still, okay. So you figure if you're putting out,
to go back and redo it.
So okay, let's say you put out 2 issues that suck. Okay, let's redo this real fast. I guess they're going to be able to do this. I mean, but then again, maybe they do it on the fly. If they're saying, "Hey, I'm releasing, new content every Friday is a new Superman thing." Okay, cool. We'll watch it. They can record it. Realistically, if it's only 30 minutes, how long is it going to take someone to edit that?
Not very long. They could probably
rewrite the issue, record it on a Monday, and have it ready for that Friday.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, which is more reason I think they should do it. Like, give it a shot. Like, they could bring in fan favorite voices again. Like, but this is going to come up again with our main topic. But how awesome is it when you watch, one of the animated films and you've got Mark Hamill as the Joker and Kevin Conroy as Batman? Like, that's part of the, it's part of the lore. That's how I hear them when I read the books. Like, it's their voices. So, if you can lock in some of that top tier talent that people are super familiar with, why not?
You think that they're going to be able to get such high quality voice actors, or you think
I don't see why they wouldn't? I mean, they could even go so far as to get, well, this would cost them. But imagine even if they got like Jason Momoa to do Aquaman for something. You know what I mean? Like if they could pull off stuff like that, that's going to draw people in.
Yeah. I mean, it's a ballsy move.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely a ballsy move for them to try to do. And again, there's no real release date on it.
Yeah, it's unprecedented territory, so who knows?
But you figure too, okay, if they sign this deal with Spotify for 2 years, they have a clause in there that's like, look, if Marvel comes running, you're not picking it up.
Well, no, Marvel's probably going to go to like
iTunes.
Apple.
Yep.
Yeah,
they'll go to iHeart.
They'll go to the direct competitor, even Pandora. Like, there's a lot of other services, but Spotify, in my opinion, right now is the best thing out. Like in terms of streaming platforms. So I wouldn't be shocked if, Marvel really tried to jump on the gun and get with like Apple, or because it's probably the next best game in town.
I mean, Marvel could pull some whack shit and go for Amazon maybe. I don't know.
Actually, I forgot about Amazon. That's another very good point. Like Amazon's blowing up. They're going to own everything soon. It's going to be like Amazon and Google run the damn world. So
yeah, I think that if I was, the people at Marvel, I would probably be looking at Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, I don't necessarily listen to Spotify. I am an Amazon guy, or I listen to Apple Podcasts, which you can find our podcast on that at Yo What Up Comics. But anyway, so I was definitely intrigued that they made the deal with Spotify out of everybody. And what are you? Are you a Spotify guy or?
Yeah, I actually pay for it.
Yeah, same
No
here.
commercials, no ads, nothing.
So you listen to all your podcasts on Spotify?
All of them.
So
I mean, look what they did. They just bought Joe Rogan Experience for what, $100 million?
God, did they really?
Is that what it was?
$100 million.
That's wild.
So they're making moves.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, you can chime into this conversation. Do you think that, not to get too off topic of comic book land, now we're going to talk about podcasting for a second, but do you think that there's too many podcast services out there?
No.
I don't think so.
Really?
I think I think there's a lot of options, but I think people kind of know what they want and they stick to that. If you're an Apple guy, you're sticking with Apple. I'm a Spotify guy because I have it on so many different platforms. I have it on my work computer. I have it on my Xbox. I've got it on my phone. It connects. There's an app so it connects directly to my car too. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I think it all depends where you can stream your podcast. Like, people use their Echoes for Alexa.
Yeah, so that's
plug in.
Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
But what's Amazon's podcasting service, or there isn't one?
I'm not sure because I use Spotify.
There you go again. There's our Spotify plug of the day. So, but again, it'll be interesting to see. It should be fun. You know, we'll be able to make another show tracking that as well.
Yeah.
You know, just going
Throw
to
it
keep
up
on
there.
adding to the list. We got the 4th and 1 based on sports. We've got Alpha Beta Gold Gaming, which is about gaming. We got Yo What Up Comics, which you're listening to right now. We got Hero Cinema, which we just pray that we get a good movie. And because we got shut down for copyright infringement before.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't stream our reactions with the trailer up.
So you just watch us make fun of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But this week we have a good one. We'll be actually watching Spider-Man Far From Home,
Thank God.
which is a little bit of a break from The Phantom, which was the first one.
It's in a couple rough movies, so it'll be nice to have a good one for this week. So definitely check that out for some extended comic book related content.
And if you want a good laugh, because like I said, Toxic Avenger, man, they dropped some inappropriate language,
Yeah,
bro.
they did. A lot of things happen in
Inappropriate
that.
language.
Honestly, I almost wouldn't tell people to watch it, but only do it if you're intoxicated. But speaking of movies, we do have some more news here. A legend is returning to don the cowl of the Caped Crusader.
Yes,
Michael
he is.
Keaton is back in black as the Bat. I didn't
I'm
plan that. I
pumped.
just said it right now.
I'm pumped. I think it's the best damn thing that DC has
That's
done.
honestly a phenomenal move. The only thing they could have done better, in my opinion, was getting Kevin Conroy to do it. But I was disappointed with his turn in one of the crossovers they did on CW. I was just like, this.
He's a voice actor.
Yeah, but he's the voice of Batman.
I know. But I'm 100% excited about this one. And this is, I don't know if they actually confirmed that. And if you can let me know if they actually confirmed this. I know it's been a lot of talk. It's a lot of, back and forth on it. And while you're looking that up, the article comes from comicbook.com. And the movie, comics, and TV news cycle keeps getting better for DC fans lately. First, DC fans won their war in getting Zack Snyder's Justice League released on HBO Max in 2021. Then, Warner Bros. Announced an exciting DC Fandom event in August. Now, exclusive news of an upcoming film with the biggest DC Comics fans quite excited. Michael Keaton is going to play Batman in the Flashpoint movie. Keaton is in talks to play Bruce Wayne in the film, but the deal has not yet to be completed, but to bring him into the films just yet. The Flashpoint film will star Ezra Miller as the Flash and pick up on the DC Extended Universe tie-ins, which began in the Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice.
And so, additionally, this kind of piggybacks off that from cosmicbook.news. They don't have an easy website to say. I'm just going to jump back in with an excerpt here. Interestingly enough, AT&T is said to have been behind greenlighting the Snyder Cut, and apparently they're also doing a Brandon Routh Superman series, has been rumored for HBO Max, along with the Ayer Cut. Sutton says that Sun says that not only is bringing Michael Keaton back as Batman another way of expanding their hugely popular Batman franchise, but it will provide new content on the content-hungry HBO Max. And here's where it gets interesting. A live-action Batman Beyond is being talked about again, and this time for HBO Max, although no development has begun. This is from Sutton. He says, if they could net Keaton for it, the possibility of this materializing greatly increases. I would shit my pants. That would be so fucking amazing. Batman Beyond was one of the best shows that DC's ever come out with, and I love that it sticks in with that whole Bruce Timm verse that he started with Batman the Animated Series. You know, it's kind of that whole universe is kind of bookended by Batman the Animated Series and Batman Beyond. And in the middle, you've got the Superman series, Justice League Unlimited. There might be something else in there, Static Shock. There's a lot of things that got included in that I'm like, holy shit. Like, you know, you get addicted to all these characters. To now have them on film, everyone's wanted a Batman Beyond movie forever. Batman Forever. This is, I think, a perfect time to really take advantage of that. And, like, I would be all in for that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, let's tackle the first thing here that we read with the Flashpoint, because I also heard rumors, which, again, off camera we did talk about this, and I believe you said you actually supported this decision. I don't. Is that Michael Keaton might play Thomas Wayne?
Oh wait, no. I did not support that. Okay. I love him back as Bruce Wayne. Thomas Wayne. Why would you do anyone other than Jeffrey Dean Morgan? Like, why would you not just stick with it? He's already played it. He's proved he can play badasses. Like, let him roll with that.
Yeah, it would. I think that would be a mistake.
Yeah.
That would be a complete mistake.
Although, speaking of, you know, almost having too many Batman, so we're talking about, we've got Michael Keaton reprising as, you know, the 80s version. I'm assuming it's going to be the same line.
And we didn't get that confirmed yet, did we?
No, it's not confirmed yet. Everyone's saying it's too early. They're talking about it.
Oh, might have jumped the gun. But I would think at this point, with the amount of buzz, it would be crazier if it didn't happen than if it did. So I feel like we can say with some confidence it's probably going to be a thing with the amount of buzz and everything that's behind it, with all the fan uproar. I would think we're going to see this. But we're potentially going to have three people playing Batman at the same time, because you're going to have Keaton for Flashpoint, possibly Batman Beyond. You're going to have Ben Affleck back for the HBO Max Snyder cut of Justice League. And then you're going to have Robert Pattinson as a completely out of shape detective in The Batman. So that's a lot. I mean, talk about oversaturation for a guy that they refuse to give his own TV show because they don't want to confuse fans. That's a lot of characters. Oh, sorry, a lot of people playing the same character.
Well, I mean, I think it's safe to say that Ben Affleck's only coming back for that. He's probably going to film it. He's he's finishing the film.
But it's still coming out at the same time. But yeah, he's probably only doing
he's probably one and done. Robert Pattinson did say he was working out again to bite your tongue.
Oh, is he?
He is hitting the gyms. He is hitting the gyms.
Weights up?
He is hitting the gyms.
Which, nothing against Robert Pattinson. I'm just like, dude, if you're going to be Batman, just work out. That's my only thing.
Well, I mean, we've said it before. They did a really good job with the original Batman movie with Michael Keaton. He did a really good job with Batman Returns. Again, I understand those were Tim Burton films. Then it kind of, why he didn't come back for Batman Forever, I don't really remember why. I think it had something to do with because I think it was maybe because Tim Burton kind of was just producing it and he didn't really. But what side note, Joel Schumacher, he passed away. So
yeah, R.I.P. That's
R.I.P. Man.
He was actually very apologetic in interviews and stuff about the quality of those films. Which
I mean, he did win an Academy Award for A Beautiful Mind. Maybe we talked about. I forget what that was. Go back to an old episode. Let's do it.
But I was going to bring up Joel Schumacher dying.
Yeah,
because someone said Keaton vowed to never play Batman again until Schumacher died.
What?
Did he really?
And
wow.
Where'd you pull that article from?
Good old Twitter.
Wow.
Who tweeted that?
Jesse McLaren. He's verified.
Damn, bro.
Yo,
Schumacher died the 22nd, and now Michael Keaton might be coming back.
Was he killed with a batarang? Like, is this something we need to investigate? Like,
that's a really, really interesting comment.
Yeah.
I would, if that gets out.
I mean,
Michael Keaton. Yeah, but proof of that. Michael Keaton did definitely Definitely not coming back.
No,
to that.
I think he still has to come back at that point. It's what the fans want. That's what is going to make them money in the long run.
Well, if they do stick with the Flashpoint storyline, which we've talked about multiple times before, about how comic books don't adapt films very well, which is actually our main topic of the day, which we'll get into a little later. But do they? How do I say this? So we've said before that I personally say that Harley Quinn's attire despises me. I think it's awful. I hate it. I don't think it makes any sense to traditional, DC stuff, to traditional Harley Quinn. It's not working. I don't believe it's working. It's my opinion. I know, you can check out Opinions Are for Assholes, one of our other shows, and I get it that, like I said, people are like, who the fuck are you guys? Like, you guys are like the new guys on the totem pole. Yeah, well, guess what, motherfuckers? That's my goddamn opinion. Her fucking outfit, her look is crap. And I think that if they stick with the Flashpoint properly, they'll have the ability to reset, which they need to do.
That is the beauty of this film.
Reset the entire DC cinematic universe, and I think this is a fantastic way to do it because they do a really, really good job with their animated stuff.
Which is crazy to me. Like, how do you not just promote the animated team to run the actual live action films? Just be like, all right, like, let's just kick it up a notch. Like, these guys clearly know what they're doing. They have an entire cinematic universe that's just animated, and it's really, really well done. I would love to see that in a film, like a live action film. Like, all that just works.
And Flashpoint is arguably one of my favorite comic book stories ever. I think it's well done. I think the twist in it are fantastic, especially the Joker twist at the end.
Is that going to be our next?
If you know what? We're not going to talk about that until Anthony reads it.
Okay, fair enough.
My first comic
is going to be Flashpoint because I think you don't really need to know much about any of the characters.
I agree. You can go in with a base level knowledge of the characters.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit of a mind fuck anyway, but it's intended to be, so
yes, and
you'll be okay.
I think that's it's a quick read. It's not that big. I think you can rip through that and then we could talk about it because I think that everything in that book needs to be put on film. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah, don't fuck it. I mean, it'd be tough to do.
Why?
But,
You have
No. I mean, it'd be tough to do without fucking it up. But it is definitely possible. They just need to be patient and have a plan. I think that's the biggest thing that DC's lacked with a lot of their films is a plan. Marvel kind of knew what they were doing off the bat. And there were some films that came up that maybe they got the rights to, and they're like, all right, how do we fit this in? Whereas DC was just kind of like, Batman, and then Superman, and then other stuff, and Wonder Woman, oh, that worked, and then Justice League. Like, they just kind of rushed to the finish line as opposed to, enjoying the ride for the views. They didn't really have a plan for the journey.
Yeah, and again, I think it's gonna be good for them to do this. And I think, if they do this right, if they time it right, with the rumor of the Batman Beyond series, which for me, I swore, I'd said it, I thought that Robert Pattinson's movie was Batman Beyond. I genuinely did. I didn't think it was going to be.
Honestly, I would have been pretty down for that. I don't know if I would have loved Robert. I don't granted, he's young looking. I don't know if he's young enough to play a high schooler in Terry McGinnis, but I would have been all in for a Batman Beyond movie. I think that would have been awesome. But shit, hopefully we see it, man. That would be.
Yeah,
nuts.
I think they're going to be. I think it's smart. Pulling a Batman Beyond TV show to HBO Max.
Yeah.
I also think it's kind of interesting because HBO Max is doing a lot of work side by side with the DC Universe subscription service, which I, of course, have both. And I highly recommend you getting both of them if you're a DC fan, especially for the comic backlog you can get on the DC Universe. But, why HBO picked it up and why they didn't just put it directly on the DC Universe.
There's something going on with that. It's really weird. I don't know if it's a legal thing just because HBO, I guess, is part of Warner Brothers or something now. I don't know. The whole thing is weird.
I think it's a smart move. I think they have a better audience to grab on HBO than DC
100%.
than the DC Universe app because
and the DC Universe app pissed me off when it first came out because it wasn't available to play some video game consoles. So I'm like, what the hell are you thinking?
Yep.
Like, why would you not have it set up for that or queued for that when, you got to think a bunch of your audience probably plays video games too? It's just to me, a common sense move that I thought they dropped the ball on. But
yeah, but it's gonna be exciting to come. So who do you cast as Terry?
That's a tough one. I personally am all about going with unknown actors, give someone new a chance. I don't know if there's anyone young enough that I could really see in the role that has like the acting chops, but there's got to be someone out there. I'd have to do a little bit of searching for that.
Yeah, because I believe I predicted Bill Hader.
Hader.
No, remember on as the recasting of the Joker. That was my prediction on that. I'm sticking by it.
Okay, that I could see. I was like, Bill Hader is Terry McGinnis. I was we gotta get somebody else to co-host the show.
I'm sticking by him as the Joker, but you're right. You're Terry McGinnis. I think you have to find somebody that's maybe on a Netflix show, maybe someone from an Amazon show.
Give someone a shot. Like get someone a little bit younger. Give them a legit shot. Kind of what Marvel did with Tom Holland. Where Tom Holland, I think, has embodied the role of Spider-Man better than just about anybody else, and he was virtually unknown prior to this. And he had, like, the gymnastics experience that really just made him a lot more believable with some of the stunts. So I think if they can go the same route, someone who, knows how to fight, they get him in as Terry McGinnis, he's got some acting experience under his belt, younger kid that can really grow with the role, because you do see Terry later in Justice League Unlimited as an adult, and he's awesome. So I would like to see them go that route where they, have kind of their eyes on the future instead of just in the now and getting a popular actor for, honestly, a franchise that doesn't need the help. You slap Batman's name on anything, people are going to go see it. So I think they can kind of, roll the dice there on someone a little bit younger.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that when they decide to recast the Wolverine, I will be auditioning for it. If anybody,
you damn well better be.
Anybody doesn't realize that I am extremely short and Wolverine is only 5'2" in the comics. Sorry, Hugh Jackman. Coming in.
All you need, dude, is the metal bones and like some steroids. I think you'll be fine.
I mean, I could just hit the gym and do it the right way.
What about the metal bones? Like you got to go in all out. Just get the implants.
Stay away from acid too.
What? That.
One of the few things
old
that can kill Wolverine.
Old episode news. Go joke on the freaking Batman
thing. Love that
thing.
you brought that back. Solid call.
I mean, we have one more topic of the day before we get into our feature.
And that's DC pulling the plug on Warren Ellis's death metal story. This came from Game Radar, and this is a bit of a Me Too situation, I guess, for lack of a better word. DC has pulled a planned Warren Ellis, Jim Chong story from the August 4th Dark Knights Death Metal Legends of the Dark Knights #1 anthology. Jesus Christ, first of all, that's an absurdly long name for a comic book. Is there going to be space for art on that? Like, Christ. The previously announced 2-page story in Dark Knight's Death Metal Legends of the Dark Knights #1 by Warren Ellis and Jim Chong will be replaced with a 2-page story written by Marguerite Bennett and illustrated by Jamal Igle. Reads the announcement to retailers in an email sent out Friday evening. The publisher did not provide a reason for the removal of the story, which was to be the origin of the alternate universe Batman who lived in a robotic Tyrannosaurus Rex dubbed the B-Rex. First of all, what the fuck was... I don't even know if we needed that story. Batman who lives in a robotic Tyrannosaurus... Is that the one that's always in the Batcave? Yeah, you're right. It continues. Sorry. The removal, however, comes just days after several women alleged sexual misconduct by Warren Ellis dating back to the early 2000s, and a day after Ellis himself released a statement seemingly in response to the allegations.
So this topic has been going around the world for a very long time. We obviously do not support this type of sexual bullshit.
Don't be a dick. Yeah, guys,
don't be an
asshole. Don't be an asshole. Don't be a dick. Respect women. Just don't be a dude.
We all mess up. We've all done stupid shit, whether it's getting blacked out drunk, whether it's talking to your best friend's sister, whatever the fuck it may be. We've all... I guess I'll have to edit that.
Oh my God.
It wasn't me. It was not me.
Look, I don't think anyone's listening to this in my family anyway.
Jesus Christ.
But no,
this will be the one episode to come up with Thanksgiving. Like, let's listen to Cameron's podcast.
No, I mean, I would have, trust me, I love my sister's husband, but I would have loved if my sister ended up marrying one of my best friends too. But, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, a lot of stuff's been going on in the video game world and the movie world. You know, now it's in the comic book world. Kind of started in the movie world. Now it's kind of trickling its way in. Look, if you've done something like this, if you've been an asshole, if you're getting accused, you beat, get out, you know.
Apologize, make amends. I don't know what else you can do other than that.
Yeah, and do it the right way.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, I listened to a podcast, the Games Daily by the guys over at Kind of Funny Games, and they put a really cool little letter together over there, and they pretty much said, like, yo, if you do this, like, don't give us your fucking money. Like, don't listen to us. Like, we don't need your bullshit. Like, I agree with them. Yeah. I think it's a really well-said thing that they did, and I 100% support that decision. Look, at the end of the day, like, if you mess up, it doesn't mean, like, you can't be forgiven. But own it. Be a man.
Yeah.
Use your balls that God gave you, and fucking
and for the right reasons.
Yeah, and you know, own it, and don't be a bitch about it. So
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. And it sucks because it's Warren Ellis, you know, has a good track record, I think, with his stories. But this is, you know, obviously we're gonna lose this 2-pager. Who knows what this does for you know, for anything else he might have been working on coming down the pipeline.
I think his best bet is I think his best bet, if I was him, would be to say your sorries, apologize, take a step back for a little bit, and regroup.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to regroup.
You're gonna have to do a lot. You're gonna have to disappear for a little bit too. I mean, there's a lot of things.
Puts a bit of a tarnish on your name as well. Yeah.
But all right. So to change the subject slightly, before we get into our featured comic of the day and our sponsor message, I am going to bring in my favorite part, the shenanigans engine of the week, which this time is your precious Batman's prep time. Because most of the time, it's bullshit. I don't care what it says in comics. There's nothing he can really do to prepare for Superman. If Superman wanted to kill Batman, there's nothing he can do. If a bunch of heroes wanted to kill Batman, there's not much he can do. He can have all the time to prepare that he wants. And all these groups online, I don't know if anybody's in like Death Battle or anything like that on you know, Facebook. That's a Facebook group where they argue about different characters fighting. Like, well, does Batman get prep time? Does Batman get prep time? No. If Batman's just on the street and he gets jumped by someone, he's probably not going to win. I'm throwing it out there. Well, someone worthy. I will say that. Giving respect to who the character is. If he gets jumped by someone worthy, not just some random thug, like, he might not win.
To a brief message from our sponsor.
Why Am I a Nerd podcast network has been brought to you by our sponsor, Me Moms. The best breakfast and lunch down the Jersey Shore with 3 great locations in Wall Township, Middletown, and Brick, New Jersey. Me Mom specializes in unique and fun takes on your traditional lunch and breakfast items. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can find more information at www.memoms.com.
Screw you and your damn shenanigans engines. So welcome back, everybody, and welcome to the featured comic of the day, which is none other than The Killing Joke.
So now this is this is one of the most famous Batman books of all time. Has far-reaching implications well outside the book. I believe it was originally supposed to be a standalone story that Alan Moore created. And Alan Moore, it's actually kind of funny. I feel like whenever one of his projects is brought to, you know, the big screen or the silver screen, you know, whatever you want to call it, he always seems to have some kind of issue with it. You know, he always wants nothing to do with it. He's like, this is supposed to just be a comic book. That was the same issue he had with Watchmen. But to give the background, Batman the Killing Joke is Alan Moore's 64-page unforgettable meditation on the razor-thin line between sanity and insanity, heroism and villainy, comedy and tragedy. According to the grinning engine of madness and mayhem known as the Joker, that's all that separates the sane from the psychotic. Freed once again from the confines of Arkham Asylum, he's out to prove his deranged point. And he's going to use Gotham City's top cop, Commissioner Gordon, and his brilliant and beautiful daughter Barbara to do it. Now Batman must race to stop his arch nemesis before his reign of terror claims 2 of the Dark Knight's closest friends. Can he finally put an end to the cycle of bloodlust and lunacy that links these 2 iconic foes before it leads to its fatal conclusion? And as the horrifying origin of the clown prince of crime is finally revealed, will the thin line that separates Batman's nobility and the Joker's insanity snap once and for all?
It's an awesome book.
It is a very awesome book. The movie, however, we have some issues with. So and again, as always, spoilers. If you haven't read it, this is the time to pause it. It's only 64 pages. It's a quick read. But spoilers, this is your final warning. So the main takeaway from this book, the one thing that I think everyone probably knows it best for, is Joker paralyzing and abusing, for lack of a better word, Batgirl in her own apartment.
Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
Whoever does. If you don't know, it's Barbara Gordon. So, but yeah, and that was a big controversy. It's starting to come out now. I know it was controversial back then, but you're starting to hear more about it because he does, essentially, this is kind of the starting point of the Oracle. Oracle kind of comes out after this.
Yeah, because Batgirl looks to, now that she's paralyzed, she looks to kind of rebrand herself and, kind of show that she's still helpful, she's still strong, and she can really, support the other characters and heroes. And she becomes basically like the world's best hacker, as Oracle. And she's sitting there, she works with the Birds of Prey, Batman, Nightwing, and a host of other superheroes, really just supporting their efforts, online and, hacking into things or getting a wealth of knowledge as they're needed.
Which is interesting to me, with this book, is that this is a book that I would say, if you don't know much about Batman, you probably shouldn't read it because it's not going to have the same impact on you with the whole
this is definitely
the Barbara Gordon aspect and her getting shot. And they tried to make you care in the movie, and
so the movie goes around, and I think everyone had an issue with this. I know I saw it in theaters.
So did I.
And I had an issue with this. So they really make a point of showing that, Barbara Gordon's got her own life. She's a successful librarian. She's Batgirl by night. But she's kind of got this fascination, attraction with Bruce Wayne, which makes sense. I can get behind that. But they end up... what's the word I'm looking for? Fornicating. That's not the word I was looking for, but it's going to work for right here. Yeah, we can say fucking too. I was trying to make it a little classier for the kids that shouldn't be listening to this. Roof. They end up fucking on a rooftop, and then Batman kind of like, not full on ghosts her because he's Batman, but gives her the cold shoulder after, and then it goes into the actual Killing Joke story. And I think almost every single fan, if you're a Batgirl fan, a Batman fan, a Joker fan, was kind of like, what the fuck was that? That's not what any of us signed up for. You give us 30 minutes of pure made-up Batgirl stuff that really wasn't necessary. And there's an article I read, forgive me because I don't have it quoted here, but where I believe Brian Azzarello, I might be saying his name wrong, was one of the penners, I know I said that, writers for the movie. And there was someone was like, what was that about? And he got really mad, that people were not happy with that part of the film. So I think that's kind of strange that, he was that tied to something that really didn't need to be in the story at all. It added almost nothing.
I mean, I get what they tried to do. They tried to make you care about the climactic part, the climax of it, I guess you could say, like the big turning point.
Which I can see that, but to cut you off really quick, if you're going to see this movie or buying this movie, you probably know what's happening. Like, this is for a very targeted audience, so I don't think it was really necessary because this ideally should not be someone's first introduction to who Batgirl is.
Yes, I agree.
Like, odds are you already know going into it, so I don't think that was necessary to do something like that for less than 5% of the population that's going to be watching the film.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting, too, is what they do is that, again, when they stick to the dialogue from the book, and I had the book open. It's
masterfully performed, too, by, again, Conroy
they
and Hamill.
Almost take the dialogue almost word for word. They add some weird scenes in there, and they do change some stuff. A weird thing that they change, which I don't know if this actually means anything, is after Barbara shot and she's in the hospital. In the book, when Batman shows up, she calls him Bruce. In the movie, she calls him Batman.
Which I think is interesting because in the movie, it's almost more like she has more of her wits about her. She kind of knows what's going on. She's like, all right, I can't spill the beans on your identity. But if I'm a random nurse and I hear, Batman come into Barbara Gordon's hospital room and, she calls him Bruce, I'm probably putting two and two together almost immediately that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Because, how do you not? The guy's rich, he's never around at the same time. But anyway, that's beyond the point. So I think they've just made a point in the film to show that she was kind of still with it, still together, still standing strong, still had her brains about her for what was happening.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little scene that they changed. They also changed at the end when Batman shows up to the carnival, because just so, quick rundown, Joker gets out of Arkham again for the 80th time. He goes and buys himself a fucking amusement park. Pretty much,
he can do that.
Yeah, his goal is pretty much to make Jim Gordon go mad, and he's trying to pretty much say that everybody is just like him.
Yeah, that anybody who has a bad day can become just like the Joker, and it delves into some of Joker's backstory where you see that he really did have just a absolutely shitty day. He made a couple of poor decisions, and then it pushed him over the edge of the brink basically, and he became the madman that we all know and kind of love today.
Yeah, which is definitely an interesting topic that they did, because they also, at the end, which I read this, I don't remember where I read it, and I believe, I don't even know who the hell said it. Apparently, in the end of the book, Batman stabs the Joker in the side.
I saw that too, and I was like, that never happened. What I think
it's not in there.
I think the guy is just stupid. And when he wrote the article, because at one point when Batman and Joker are laughing at the end of the book, to give background here, Joker makes a terrible joke in one of the final panels, and it actually gets Batman to laugh. It's a really not funny joke, but it makes Batman laugh. And what happens is, if you can come forward, Batman, it looks like kind of puts his arm on his shoulder. This guy somehow interpreted that to mean that Batman stabbed
there
the Joker.
It is. There's the mic drop of the day.
Once a week.
Mic drop of the day.
It's an expensive mic. I really got to chill with that. This guy somehow took it to mean that Batman stabbed him. I don't know what Batman would have stabbed him with. He doesn't really carry stabby knives like that. It's usually a battery you can just cut something with. So I think that was an exaggeration. I am of the belief that as a standalone book, Batman does kill him in the end, but it's purposely meant to be open to the reader. What happens.
To go.
Who's the article that you
quote it?
He says.
Who says it?
This is from ihsjacket.com. Adam Walters.
I Heart Jacket?
IHS Jacket.
Sure.
.com.
All right, Walter.
He says, it ends with Batman finally getting the upper hand on the Joker, and then the Joker decides to crack a joke. He starts laughing hysterically. This drives Batman over the edge as he then stabs him in the side, and the story ends. The reason this ending is so good is because it makes you think that the Joker has finally defeated Batman by driving him to insanity, but it turns out Batman was just playing a joke on the Joker.
Yeah.
What were you reading? What was this guy reading?
I don't know.
Whatever issue he has, give me it.
He just did not understand what happened. It's literally the only person I've ever heard say that. Because it's 100%.
I think Alan Moore even said, "Yeah, it didn't happen."
Yeah, he's the thing you're supposed to interpret is because they're both laughing, and the laughing pulls back, and you see their shadows, you kind of see their feet, and there's also a siren going in the background, and at one point the laughing stops. So the question is, did Batman kill Joker in that moment? You're not saying Batman stabbed the Joker, we all saw it. That never happens. It's they're both sitting there, and you're kind of did he or didn't he? It's supposed to be left to the, up to the mind of the user who won. Did Batman win with his nobility, or did Joker win with his insanity?
Yeah, he says,
well, it would be, go ahead.
Yeah, he goes on to say, in the film, the ending is changed where Batman starts laughing with the Joker.
Yeah,
and then
it's the same ending.
That's the ending.
The same ending.
This guy doesn't know how to read.
He said he found the altered ending pointless, and it left him with a bad taste in his mouth after enjoying the final two acts of the film.
Who is this guy?
Imagine not being able to read a comic book right the first time and getting mad that a movie adapted it exactly right. That's what this is.
I mean,
but I read that too. That guy, IHS Jacket, get a better username, get a better idea of how to read comics.
Sorry, it's LHS Jacket.
LHS, IHS, either way, it's terrible. What is it? A high school jacket?
Dude,
Is this about a varsity jacket?
Again, I want to know what whoever you are, Walter from iHeart Radio jacket thing. Send us the copy.
Yeah,
or Photoshop us a copy.
We'll even bring you
want.
on as a
you
guest.
can Photoshop us a copy of it.
With you.
You
Come on as a guest if you hear this.
Yeah, I mean, I would say too though. This is if you're going to compare the two of them. Read the damn book.
Yeah, obviously go with the book. Go with the book every time. Alan Moore's work speaks for itself. But I think that pretty much wraps it up for what we've got today. Is there anything else you want to add there?
No, I mean, I think the only other thing too that I noticed with this book that was kind of cool, like quick side notes of Easter eggs, is in Jim Gordon's scrapbook, they actually put the first cover of the.
Oh yeah, that is really cool. I forgot about that.
The Detective Comics number 27.
They make the whole comment about that.
Yeah, but
really cool.
they change the character in it instead of like Batman swinging with. And if you don't know, that's the first time Batman showed up was Detective Comics 27 in 1939. Batman, instead of swinging with like this robber dude, he's swinging with like they put the Joker on it.
Yeah,
and they had a couple other interesting things. I know that you could definitely tell that the Tim Burton's Batman film definitely took the origin story of the Joker from this. I mean, almost identical. In the movie version of it, they put a couple when Batman at one point's in the basement of in the Batcave, and he's fucking looking at like the screen of all the Jokers, and they actually put like a picture of like Heath Ledger's Joker, like his pose.
Oh, did they? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of nifty. But again, we didn't get too spoilery into this book. I mean, I guess you could say we spoiled the end, but
I think we got pretty spoiled.
Okay, fine. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I definitely think it's something that you should all go and read.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you know, but like you said, you have to know a little bit about, the other characters, or else you're pretty much shit out of luck, and you're going to kind of go in there and be like, why the hell do I care that Barbara Gordon got shot?
Yeah. Pretty much.
So, but once again, this is Why Am I a Nerd presents Yo What Up Comics, where you can follow us at Instagram at Why Am I a Nerd Official, Facebook.com/Why Am I a Nerd, and listen to new issues every Tuesday on your favorite podcast service, or catch new issues on YouTube every Sunday night at 6 p.m. at YouTube.com/a bunch of weird letters, because, Matthew,
like and subscribe. We need your subscription so we can get an actual URL to give you content easier.
And it'll be much easier. And don't forget to check out all the other shows that we have for you. We have Alpha Gold, The Fourth and One, Hero Cinema, and once again, I'm Cameron James.
I'm Matt Ferreira.
Until next time, we're out.